My name is Pat Long. I'm a retired Superior Court Commissioner from California. And my colleagues?
My name is Joe Stewart. I teach in the Political Science Department at Clemson University in South Carolina.
My name is Anthony Arupino. I'm an environmental attorney at the Conservation Law Foundation in Montpelier, Vermont.
I'm Sandra Gabriel.
I'm Lyle Weintraub.
I'm Monica Parks.
I'm Samantha Sokol, and this is our teacher, Mr. Broadman.
Good morning. Morning.
All right. I think you have deduced that it's question 1, unit 3. An American scholar claims that because democracy is a government by persuasion and deliberation, it implies the existence of what in the British tradition is known as the loyal opposition. So long as the opposition is attached to the fundamental principles upon which democratic government is based, organized opposition to the prevailing government is not only legitimate, but essential to its proper functioning. Do you agree or disagree, and why? How would you describe or define loyal opposition, and how would you distinguish it from obstructionism? What purpose does or should loyal opposition serve in a democracy? You may begin.
We agree that loyal opposition is both implied in and essential to the functioning of democracy because it allows for representation of all people, including those with minority viewpoints. According to Canadian political scientist Gerald Schmitz, democratic government must rest upon the consent of the governed, which means that the minority accepts the right of the majority to make decisions, provided that there is reciprocal respect for the minority's right to dissent and to promote alternative policies. Loyal opposition is essential because it serves as a check on the majority, encourages compromise, provides alternative viewpoints, and educates the populace. By persuasion and deliberation, members of the loyal opposition ensure that diverse and opposing points of view are debated.
The loyal opposition refers to an individual or party that opposes the elected or majority party. Oxford University professor Neville Johnson defined the loyal opposition as the right of politicians in Parliament to oppose and criticize the government. The loyal opposition must adhere to the rules of Parliament and the laws of the nation. As such, they may not use violence or other illegal means to achieve their objectives. The concept of loyal opposition allows the opposing party to have an impact while they are not in power. They can use compromise and cooperation in order to impact the legislative agenda and the majority's government. It stays loyal by working within the government structure to attempt to actuate its policy preferences within the majority's agenda.
Obstructionism denotes the deliberate interference with the development of legislation. While loyal opposition questions the majority party and provides alternative solutions, obstructionism uses tactics like filibustering to delay or entirely prevent passage of legislation. Partisan politics supports the idea that the minority party has an obligation to obstruct the majority's agenda, even if that means hindering the functioning of government. Obstructionism is partisan politics to an excess. Obstructionists stretch and spin facts to win. Demagoguery was used in the recent healthcare debates in which obstructionists claimed the existence of death panels to win support. Obstructionism is apparent in the blocking of judicial nominations. President Obama's choice for the head of the Office of Legal Counsel withdrew after awaiting confirmation, over a year and a half after the president's inauguration. A Canadian parliamentarian noted the opposition cannot oppose without reason. Alternative policies must be responsible and practicable.
According to Canadian Prime Minister John Diefenbacher, the opposition serves to find faults, it suggests amendments, it asks questions and elicits information, it arouses, educates, and molds public opinion by voice and vote. Loyal opposition serves as a necessary check on the current government and its policies. Parliamentarian Stanley Knowles says that the purpose of an opposition is to persuade the people that it could be an improvement on the government of the day, and to assure a change of government at reasonable intervals. It provides a forum for deliberating policies by encouraging the voicing of concern while maintaining loyalty to the society. Through loyal opposition, opposing parties highlight issues and bad policies.
This helps to assure the government's adherence to the rule of law by identifying possible arbitrary or illegal acts of the majority party. Loyal opposition attempts to mold legislation to include important concepts or protections it supports. Although the loyal opposition may slow progress, according to Georgetown University professor Ivan Doherty, cooperation between governing and opposition members can be an essential element of constructive and efficient governance.
Thank you. What relationship is there among the concepts of limited government, checks and balances, and loyal opposition?
I think that the loyal opposition serves to ensure that there is limited government and checks and balances. We do see that when we have a divided Congress and president of different parties, we do get more of limited government, and the Congress tends to check the president more. And as a result of that, we do have more checks and balances. And we can look at the Clinton administration to see that more cooperation occurred during that administration than perhaps the Bush administration, where we had a Congress that really backed the president and allowed him to expand his powers beyond what may be considered reasonable.
What is its impact on the limited government? Or what is its influence on our concept of limited government?
When you have both houses of Congress and the president in accord, or both of the same party, like Sam mentioned during the Bush administration, there is more of a push for the same kind of legislation, and you don't really get that opposition that might propose alternative solutions or an alternative way of going about something. Whereas if you have more opposition in the houses of Congress, or a Congress that opposes the president, you get a more moderate bipartisan approach to issues.
I think it's also there to prevent a bit of a tyranny of the majority, because you have that loyal opposition there, and that really does prevent limited government. That really helps with limited government, rather. And it also, if the majority party does go too far, they can also use their tactics to stop the expansion.
If the president has the entire Congress backing him the entire way, he can simply take his powers and run with them, as we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. But when we have a divided situation, there will be minority members who are going to say, wait, let's re-examine this. This isn't what our party wants, and they, in that effect, result in limited government, limiting the executive.
So is Congress and or the Democratic Party being disloyal by not opposing?